So I guess this question's for the ladies, right? Are most men that you meet, are they weirdos? Question. Are most men that you meet, are they very insecure? Do most problems that you have in your relationship stem off money? Not because he has money, but because you go to work and make your own money? All right, all right, all right. What's going on, YouTube? I posed them questions simply because I want some feedback on that, and I'm really trying to figure out myself. Are men weirdos nowadays? Are we trying too hard? I can address the women's situations, but I had a situation today with a young man, and it really put me in the mood to, you know, I had to ask myself, is crashing out, you know, worth it because of your ego? And I really had to think about it. So, okay, let's talk about it. I'm gonna share it. When I started my YouTube journey, this is a small knit city I live in here in the Midwest, right? This property was here maybe 15 years ago when I started coming around. I've been in and out. I meet different people. I've been networking with people. And since my brain injury, I decided, I take, instead of renting this place out, I'll take residency here and get better. I have my beautiful dogs here. So anyway, I met a lot of people. I met a lot of couples. A lot of people along the line. Some people like me. Some people don't. For the ones that do, thank you. And the ones that don't, thank you also, because you know, the hate makes me go a little harder. The subject I want to talk about today is when I first started this journey, I sent out emails to certain people here in this community. I actually got on social media on Instagram and Facebook, and the people that I've met directly, I sent likes and shares to them also. And some of them I even, if they responded back, if their link wasn't private, when they did respond back and open up the link, open up the request, I sent them a link. Now this is where masculinity and crashing out may go wrong. The evening, I have it here on my phone. The evening that I sent out a mass text, then when I got on social media, I sent out mass friend requests, and it was real positive feedback. It was something I didn't really expect. So I thank those that is in the community. Once again, thank you, subscribers. But then I also got one, one. I got one bad message out of 39, right? And the message I received was, "What do you want with my wife, Goofy?" Funny thing is, I sent him a request too, right? Okay. Then it put me in the state of mind, I'm a little older. So of course I think these younger guys are very, very tender. And this particular gentleman, this is a Caucasian gentleman in his mid 20s. And to describe him, he's basically Malibu Most Wanted meets CB4. He's all gang gang, and he's never seen Chicago. All right, back to the story. I responded back to him. Okay, you know, all this over Facebook, and when I looked at the message, I had been blocked. I said, okay, I laughed about it, but it was one of them things where I felt like, all right, well, maybe he felt, insecure, or maybe thought ill intentions of myself. And that wasn't the intentions at all. I didn't pay it no mind, so I walked in where I met this woman at. She worked at the local convenience store that I go to basically every morning, or should I say used to. And she's a manager there. So I usually see her, I speak to her, nothing out the ordinary. My little homeboy, I did the gas station vlog on. He works up there, so I go up there and kind of chop it up with him a little bit. And he actually gave me the rundown on this gentleman that we're talking about, you know, and he doesn't like him, or so I thought. So when this happened, when I sent the email out, it was a year and 3 months ago. I've seen this gentleman opportune times within that year and 3 months. Never said a word. He see me out walking my dogs, never said a word. Been in the grocery store with him, he never said a word, right? I said, okay, I didn't pay anything, no attention to it, because I figured it was silly anyway. So I go into the gas station. Well, I get up in the morning. I head to the gas station, right? Gotta get gas, gotta get me some cigars, and just get ready for my day. Let's keep it real. So, as I pull up, I see his car there. Of course, his car is there. His wife works there. Well, why are you there at 6 in the morning hanging out? And when I pull up, I look through the glass window and I see the gentleman that I talked to talking to him. Now, from my understanding, they supposed to be enemies, right? Apparently, that's not the case. I pay it no mind. I pay it no mind at all. I go in and handle my business, and he's ice grilling me. Then so I say, what's up, man? So he asked me, do I know you? So I reply back, say, man, do I know you? He said, yeah, you the woman that be texting my girl. I said, texting? I said, man, I sent her a Facebook request over a year ago. He said, yeah, I know, but you come up here and talk to her. I said, man, she work up here. I said, shit, if you really, if you don't want nobody to talk to her, keep her at home, provide for your woman. I knew that was going to eat him up because he's a nobody. He's a dope head. So, this is when masculinity can go wrong. The whole time there, he took little jabs. So I correctly checked him. But as I was checking him, he was getting more offensive, right? And the guy that I usually talk to, the young brother I talk to, he had a little smirk on his face. So I was like, oh, they trying to play me, right? So I told dude to run my stuff. So I started offending dude. I started calling him all kind of, B's, B-I-T-C-H's with adjectives in front of them. Like broke bitch, slow bitch, dirty bitch. Alright, but anyway, in my mind, I wasn't upset at first. But as I got my change and he kept popping it, you know, at my age, and I do have a brain injury, I was instantly irritated. For one, my feet and my hands were swollen. Two, all this over a Facebook request. I never said anything wrong to this woman. Nothing. I prefer one without black eyes. You know what I mean? He beats on this woman. And three, I've seen this man for a year, over a year. He's been the nicest gentleman. You know, he picked the time to try to embarrass me and to try to act like a tough guy in front of his people. I said, okay. So as I got loud, I could see him kind of smirk because one, he got me out of place. And I was like, okay. But when I you know, basically what I was saying to him, I called him out for a fade. You so gang gang to step outside. I had the right verbiage. He wasn't talking about nothing. He was sitting up there visiting, having fun. So I told the homie in a minute. And if you know me, if I say in a minute, that means I'll be back. I hopped in my car. I got on the phone. I called baby, let her know which direction I was going, let her know what was going on. I went around the corner and got right, and I came back. Just in case somebody wanted to jump in, I wanted to make my situation even. It took me 5 minutes and 28 seconds to get back. I know because I was on the phone. By the time I come back, the gentleman's gone. Me and the guy behind the counter have words because that was his so-called enemy. And even though he had work, I understood his position. But if somebody ever disrespects you racially, that should not be your friend. He's demasculated this man in odd places. And people say, oh, it's not about racism, it's not about color. No, it's not until it is. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, when I came back, everybody was gone. And me and the guy behind the counter had a few words. And the stuff he was saying, I knew he was full of shit. And I think he realized it was really up with me. And I laughed to myself. And I cleared that place out. Then when I got to the house, I had to sit back and think. And really think on it. At first I felt bad because I'm an older gentleman and they're acting a fool. But then it just passed on. I laughed about it and I made some content. Simply because I think I proved my point. But the thing about that is, proving my point, letting my nuts hang, it could have took everything from me. That dude didn't want no action. After all this time, he finally decided he wanted to say something. And when I really disrespected him and wanted to do something about it, he wasn't talking about it like that. And that goes to show that my mind went to a different place. And to be honest, I haven't felt like that in about 15, 17 years, man. And the way things went down, in a way I'm happy he wasn't there. But then again, I'm happy he wasn't there. Because when I came back, they knew I wasn't playing no games. And I hope they realized you can't play with a grown man. You can't play with a grown man. And all over a Facebook, request, it showed how weak this man was. He held his grudge for over a year, played Mr. Nice Guy, but to have no respect, but he knew, and he left. Now, how I know this was serious? Because I forgot about it. And when I say I forgot about it, I didn't really forget about it, but it was something that really wasn't on my page. If it's up, then it's up. I don't run for anything. And something like that I'm not even worried about. You know what I mean? But being this age, it kind of made me think a little bit. But then, again, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, people in the town, my loved ones, had made it there right when I left. Then it hit me, man, I put a lot of people, well, not a lot, I put a few people in harm's way because I was tripping. And I'm happy they know that it came from me. And I take full responsibility because that's the type of man I am. But what kind of men are these out here nowadays? If you say certain things to certain people, sometimes you have consequences for your actions. And if you feel a way, stick your chest out and say it. And I think that's what's missing nowadays. And I think about also, that's not the only situation I've had around here. I've been in situations with racist people. I've took their keys and threw it and made threats and all that. And I can say that because those situations have been talked about, not talked about, but talked amongst men and settled with a conversation. Everything doesn't have to be physical. If you feel a certain way, I can respect that, but respect mine too. Our preachers, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that's the only thing I felt bad about because the person they see and the person they know, I stepped out of that character. But I have saw other situations with people that's been a whole lot more worse. And I see these gentlemen now, we shake hands and, if we're in the store, we cover each other's bill. But a conversation can't be had. But are we missing that in the young men that are being raised nowadays? There's no compassion. There's no humility. Everybody want to let their nuts hang, but when they get put in a situation, how tough are you? How far are you willing to go to really risk, to really risk everything you have going on in your life? Are you willing to really push that line? A lot of you all are not. A lot of you all just like women anyway with the skinny jeans and the camisole shirts. Yeah, I'm still taking jabs at this dude because, you know, he picked the wrong time to deal with some of his issues he has going on. Whatever insecurity he has with his wife, he needs to talk about her. Instead of checking me, he needs to check, his phone and check the weather, check the time. But I just want to speak on that. And yes, I have different, not issues, but questions I have for the ladies nowadays. Why do you all dress the same? Why do you all dress in a way, and when you get to certain outcome, why do you continue to do that? But we'll cover that on another time. I just want to talk about, how masculinity can go bad. Because it really could have went bad, but I'm thankful that it didn't. Very thankful that it didn't. But I think I proved my point. And with that, you have to be a man at all times. Sometimes you got to get it out the mud. Sometimes you got to stick your chest out. You know what I mean? But either way, we talked about it. I want to share that thought with you. And we have to make better decisions as adults. And I have to make better decisions as a man in my community because I know these youngsters look at me. And I do YouTube also. I have to set a better example. So that's what I tend to do. Knowledge, wisdom brings understanding. And I have that. You know what I'm talking about? So thank you for joining me. Like and subscribe. Jeffy I am. We talked about it. And we gone in a minute.